Happy 4th of July and welcome back here on Outlaws YouTube to historic Tomaski Field for Outlaws pregame. As always, my name's Colby Smith. Hope you've had a great day, whether you've been barbecuing, fishing, snorkeling, surfing, every outdoor activity you can imagine, because it has been a gorgeous day. Not too probably surfing here in upstate New York, but you get the point. Wherever you might be watching from, we really appreciate you tuning in each and every night. And now let's talk about it. This Outlaw team chilling at 3-19 after yet another tough loss the other night to the Boonville Lumberjacks. We'll quickly get this up here for you. Maybe. There we go. 7-5 was your final score, and let's run through it. Outlaws got on the scoreboard first for the first time in 9 games. Connor Wading was hit by a pitch to grab an RBI. Robinson went to second. Rowe going to third, and Jack Clark scored to give Oneonta an early 1-0 advantage. Then Jameson Bollock would knock in 2 runs. He remains in the lineup for the Outlaws tonight. Keaton Mark was very impressed with his performance against Boonville, so we'll see him back over at first here for Oneonta this evening. But on that, Robinson, Rowe both scored 3-0 Oneonta, and then we would go all the way to top 5 before Boonville would once again score. Newland would come up with a batted ball towards Robinson at short that kind of got knocked down, dribbled around a little bit, and run came in to score. Namala went to third. Rodriguez scored unearned. So that was that. Also had a 2 RBI double to left center from Perez in that same inning, and Newland and Namala both scored, and it was 3-3. In the bottom half of the inning, the Outlaws would answer back with another run of their own. Jack Clark would have an RBI single straight up the middle, scoring Zach Porter, with Jace Kohler going to third, and just like that, it was 4-3 Oneonta. Boonville then in the top half of the 6th would strike right back Bo Jonas, an RBI triple, score triplet in that top half of the inning. And then Moran would fly out to center on a sacrifice with Bo Jonas scoring to make it 5-4. Outlaws would once again tie at bottom 7. Zach Rowe, a sat fly to center, would score Dane Richards before Boonville in the top half of the 8th. Bo Jonas would steal third on an error by Zach Porter and then come in to score to make it 6-5. Santiago would have an RBI single straight up the middle in the 9th to stretch out the scoring as Newland came in to score, and 7-5 Boonville was your score. Lumberjacks with 11 hits. Laws finished with 9. Oneonta 3 errors to Boonville's 1. Laws leave 10 on base to the Jats 8, and Boonville takes 10 punches to the Outlaws 7, and we'll talk more about that as we go throughout the night. But let's look at your player of the game, Jameson Bollock. We already mentioned it. He'll be back in the lineup tonight at first. 2 for 4, 2 ribbies, and a run scored, and he had himself a pretty dang good night against Boonville despite another Outlaw loss. We're going to now quickly go to our interview of the day, and we did things a little differently today. No player interview, but instead we heard from one of our interns. Here's Jackson Dorff. 4th of July special today here at Tomaski Field. Colby Smith, and I'm joined by Outlaws intern Jackson Dorff. Jackson, how are we feeling?
Feeling good. I'm excited to watch some baseball today, sell some 50-50 raffle tickets, and, hopefully enjoy the fireworks.
Well, what's the goal for the 50-50 raffle today? What you hoping to get the jackpot up to?
Oh, me and the other intern, Haven, we go back and forth, trying to get a higher score. He's not here today. I get all the lucky fans here today on July 4th. And, I'm gonna set the number at, I'm going to say 400 today.
400.
400. Right.
What's been the season high so far?
Season high, like 220.
Okay. So you're hoping we get the big spenders?
Yeah, big day today.
Big day. And what kind of crowd are you hoping to see here tonight?
Oh, I'm trying to see the field. I'm trying to see the stands packed out tonight. There's been a few Outlaws games where we've had not too many fans, but I'm really trying to see all of Oneonta out here tonight. Show a little life and some support in the community.
Well, how much do you feel attendance matters to a sports team as an athlete yourself?
I think attendance is very important. I'm from North Carolina, where we take sports very seriously down there. The whole community would show up to every sporting event pretty much. So I think it's very important, and it helps to play with knowing you have people behind you.
And for you personally, tell me about your athletic background. What sports did you play, and what are you still playing?
I was a 4-sport athlete in high school. I ran cross country 1 year. I played football. I played baseball. I played a little bit of basketball, and I ran indoor and outdoor track. That's 5 sports. But I only did cross country 1 year, so we don't really count that. But what was the other question? Sorry.
What sport are you still playing currently?
I still play football at Hartwick. I'm excited to have a good senior season coming up here. Yeah.
How have you enjoyed your experience playing at Hartwick, and what's been some of the
Next
highlights?
question.
Humor me.
No.
Humor me.
No. I'm waiting on it. You know.
Okay. What are you studying at Hartwick, and what's your ultimate career goal?
I'm a business major. I minor in digital marketing and political science, and my overall goal is to get a nice marketing job at the end of this. But maybe in sports marketing, taking this internship. I definitely love being around sports, so thinking something in sports marketing.
That's a good goal. And for you personally, how would you describe what the atmosphere interning with the Outlaws is like, and why would you recommend somebody else intern here?
I love interning with the Outlaws. The stress is not too hard, but you also get a good fun experience out of it at the end of the night, along with taking away good skills that you've learned here. I recommend that somebody interns with the Outlaws. Okay. All right. I recommend that somebody interns with the Outlaws because they get to work with a bunch of great people, and the whole baseball atmosphere is just fun to be around.
George, thank you so much for your time. Have a great evening.
You want to get the handshake in it?
Smith. We're doing things a little bit differently here on our pregame show today. I'm joined by General Manager Tony DeLillo for our special 4th of July game. Tony, how we doing?
I'm doing great, Kobe. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Let's talk about it. This Outlaw team really been struggling here these last couple of weeks, but tonight going to be a great atmosphere. Biggest crowd always of the season. What are you looking forward to?
I'm just hoping that today with the big crowd, the great weather, and the atmosphere that, one, we break the streak against the DiamondDawgs. We've lost a couple in a row against them, so it'd be nice to break that streak. And it'd just be nice to showcase, the Outlaws in front of the community. I expect a couple thousand people here tonight, so let's just hope that our boys come ready to play. They live in the environment, and we take care of business tonight and send everybody home happy.
Well, and as somebody who's been around athletics your entire life, how frustrating is it to have a streak like this team's been on, as you mentioned, against the DiamondDawgs?
Listen, it's very frustrating. It can wear on you a little bit, and even though some of these guys didn't start the streak, they've been a part of it for a couple of years, and it can be frustrating. And it'd just be nice for them to be able to break that streak.
Well, and how do you, as somebody who's been around this team, think that they kind of got to turn things around and clean things up? Like, what's going to be the formula to do that?
Baseball's a simple game. We got to pitch, we got to throw strikes, we got to field, we got to make plays in the field, we got to get some timely hitting.
Good for this Outlaw organization the rest of the summer. What do you think some of the biggest goals, both on and off the field, are?
We got to compete. We got to win a couple baseball games. We got 3 weeks of the season left. It'd be nice to turn it around, get 5 or 6 wins, and kind of make some noise here late in the year. And all that does is it makes the community excited about us in the Outlaws. It gets people here to watch the games, and we've been doing so many great things here this year, and I want more people to come out and see it and be a part of it.
Well, when you say great things this year, what specifically are you referring to?
I just like the way we get the crowd involved on game day. We have a lot of in-game activities, and it just makes for a fun time for the family, and it brings a kind of excitement and joy to kids to come to the ballpark. And whether it's home run derby or we the last home game we had around the world, we learned a lot of facts about different countries around the world. It's Christmas in July next week. Just great ideas that we've come up with, and I want the community to be able to see that.
Your role to me here with the Outlaws, and tell me about how rewarding it is for you.
What was the question again? Give me the question again.
Describe your role to me here as general manager and how rewarding it is.
My role here as general manager is just to get the community involved with the Outlaws and make them have a great game day experience.
So we're going to cut that right there. Really appreciate Dorth and GM Tony hanging by our pregame show today on the 4th of July. Independence Day special. 6th last start here at Tomaski Field against these Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs. Martin Thorsland on the bump to get it rolling, and Hughes will whack the first one straight back foul as we are underway in this one. The DiamondDawgs snapped a 2-game losing skid yesterday. They had fallen to Amsterdam at home Saturday night 5-1, and then turned around Sunday and lost 14-11 to Socrates, and also finished a suspended game earlier on that ended up being a 3-2 final in favor of the Stallions. Mohawk Valley got 2 base runners on starting the inning and then left them on, and 3-2 ended up going final in that one. So technically, I guess you can call it 3 in a row is the 0-2, and Pew swings right through it. Martin Thorsland kicks off the 4th of July with a swinging K.
George Washington University.
So Ethan Hughes, the left fielder, retired here for the Dogs. And quickly it'll bring up Tyler Jones. But let's talk about Martin Thorsland. His line thus far on the summer, 0-1 with a 3.86 ERA. He's made 5 appearances, 4 starts, and already has fired 18 2/3 innings. His first one to Jones, down low in a big swing. And he won't poke that, so it'll go 0-1. He surrendered 24 hits, 12 runs, 8 of them charges earned, and he's walked 6 and struck out 16. Thorsland from the first base side is 0-1. Slow tapper left side, past the diving glove of Montesano. Carrera dived down as well, but it rolls into shallow left. First base runner and first hit of the game goes to Tyler Jones. So Jones will reach with a single, and he has been pretty lights out for Mohawk Valley to this point. All the Dogs have really started to pick it up in terms of offensive production as of late, but none especially more than Jones, who leads the team in average, and J.P. Kuzak, who's in a 4 spot behind their DH and starting pitcher, Joey Calabretti, who you see now. Short lead off first for Jones. Again, just one down here, top first, just getting going as that one misses down and away. And Calabretti will jump ahead 1 out. Calabretti on the summer so far is hitting .209 in his 22 games, a combined 19 for 91. He's got 7 extra base hits, which sits for a tie atop the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs with Ethan Hughes. Both of them have an identical line of 6 doubles and a homer, as he'll thwack one in the shallow left. And that's back-to-back singles now for Mohawk Valley as Jones goes to second. And quickly, it'll bring up the aforementioned J.P. Kuzak. Kuzak, a .333 average, 11 games played. He's made 10 starts already despite joining this team a little bit late. 13 for 39, and he's got 2 doubles, 7 ribbies with 7 walks and 3 Ks and 1 hit by pitch. Third base, the only bag open with, again, just 1 down. Dogs already have taken the first 3 in the season series from Oneonta, and as we're saying, the curse of the DiamondDawgs just continues to live on as that one right side caught by Conley, the turn to double him off, and does. Calabretti can't get back there. L4, and then scored Calabretti being the 4-3 double play on the aftermath, and so that's going to send us bottom 1 here in Oneonta, despite the 2 singles by the Dogs, the Outlaws come to the plate with this in an 0-ball game. Bottom of the first back here in Oneonta, and now let's go and take a look at tonight's Outlaws starting lineup. Leading things off in center field, going to be none other than Dane Richards. And we actually had a flip-flop between the 2 and 5, which we weren't made aware of until right before game time. Got to be a little bit better on the communication there. But Jed Clerk's in right field. He'll hit second. Hitting third, Jace Kohler's in left. Jameson Bollock is at first. And in the 5 spot goes Zach Porter, the AH. Bose is the catcher. Ian Wirtz does the DHing. Lenny Montesano's at third. Brendan Connolly plays second. Matt Carrera's at short. And, of course, your starting pitcher is none other than Martin Thorsland. Richards will settle into the box, and nice to see him right back up here at the top of the lineup. And first pitch swinging, bombs one out in the right center. Chugging on over and sliding down. Gets caught. That one hung for quite a ways before Sanchez finally able to nab it down. And so that will be an F9 to start the night. And Jack Clark will roll up next. We are on a bit of a time crunch tonight. We're trying to get this one done by 9 o'clock to set the fireworks. Jack Clark has been among the best of the best on the Outlaws thus far. One of the few bright spots for this team as he swings right through one and he'll trail 0-1. His average is .299 in his 19 games. Combined 20 for 67, has scored 11 runs. And he leads this squad in extra base hits, 2 doubles, 2 triples, 1 homer with 9 walks, 16 punchies. That one sails head high and will duck him down as the count quickly rolling to 1-1. One of those doubles he had came the other night up in Boonville. And, well, it should have been a triple, but it happens. 1-1 from Calabretti, spiked down off the plate, and the count rolls 2-1. Calabretti, this is a big spot to make his first start of the season. He's made 5 appearances, all have come out of the bullpen, and he's thrown against Oneonta twice already. He's thrown 11 in a third innings combined, 1 run. It was not earned. 3 hits, 1 walk, and he has struck out 15. Clark will go straight back with that one, and the count to 2-2. Outlaws trying to snap their 8-game losing streak here tonight on the 4th of July. Trying to win one at home for the first time since June 17th as well. Two from Calabretti. And Clark drifting towards center. Shallow ball. Backwards. Caught! And had a little bit of a collision there between Stoney and Hart, both of which are laying down on the field. And Stoney especially looks in some distress as Steve Luby's going to come jogging out of the dugout. Stoney gets up quickly, though, and looks like he's going to shake this off. As it's 4th of July, and, well, holiday games are always a little something extra special. Sanchez in the 5 spot tonight for Coach Steve Luby as that one drops down low and away in the count to 2-1. Rounding out the Dawgs lineup, Caden Hart, the Virginia Tech product, is in center. John Ramsey's at short. Justin Hurd plays first, and Sean Stoney is at second. 2-1 offering. Gonna come backdoor in the zone for a called strike 2 until it's 2-2. Looking around the horn for the Outlaws defensively, left to right in the outfield. It's Jace Kohler, Dane Richards, Jack Clark. On the infield from first to third, Jameson Bollock, Brendan Connolly, Matt Carrera, Lenny Montesano. As Carrera firing this one on the run, the big stretch by Bollock, and he can't quite get it there in time. So that'll be an infield single for Edwin Sanchez. Matt Carrera, tough play to range on over to get that one like he had to do, and whip it off on the run, always a tough ask. And so give it a single, and it'll go to Caden Hart. Caden Hart going to take a called strike 1. Short lead off first for Edwin Sanchez. Is the pickoff going to be tried and successful? Thorsland to Bollock, and he slaps the tag on. So that will be a 1-3 caught stealing for out one. 0-1 count, and again, this Mohawk Valley team is now 13-10-1. Is caught off the end of the bat and goes behind the dish, and it's quickly 0-2. We mentioned it earlier, but Mohawk Valley wins in each of the first 3 games of the season series against the Outlaws, playing 8 in total this summer after only playing 7 last year, and the year before that just 4. So it's just been on the uprise here over the last couple of years how much these two have seen each other. Carrera pitched that one nicely on the backhand over to Bollock, and another beautiful stretch gets it done. So 6-3, Caden Hart sent down. There's 2 away, and we'll go to John Ramsey.
Number 34, John Ramsey.
First time these two teams saw each other was back on June 5th. The Dogs took an 8-7 victory last night in 10 innings. Outlaws led 6-2, 7-3, and then, well, the rest speaks for itself as the Dogs take it 8-7 in 10 innings. Ramsey going to take a bulleted ball down and in, and that's ball 1. Supposed to play here at Damascus on Tuesday, June 10th. That one got postponed due to rain. It was part of a 3-game stretch here at home. All got rained out. And we're making that one up in July as the 1-0 sweeps in the zone, and it'll go to 1-1. Last time the Laws went to Mohawk Valley, it was a 9-1 Dodge final. It was 9-0 Mohawk Valley going top of the first, looking like it's going to be a goose egg, but then the Laws playing some sacrifice baseball. Got a run, is into shallow right. That one going to bounce away from Jack Clark and roll to the wall. Chugging back to go get it. Dane Richards comes and helps him out. Ramsey takes the turnaround second. He gets the third standing up. And that's not something that you want to see. So John Ramsey going to get credited with a single there, but also an error going to be scored to let him advance to 2 bags. So, just like that, the Dogs get their first runner of the day in scoring position. Just 90 feet away from scoring with 2 outs is that one in the zone, and Hurd now trails 0-1. We also had the DiamondDawgs here on June the 25th. That game ended in a 12-3 score in favor of Mohawk Valley. That was Jason Bassett's first start as an Outlaw, and he's put together a pretty good one. But in the end, it resulted in Mohawk Valley taking the dub. The bullpen just gave up some late runs, and that's been another problem for this team. Sometimes just bringing in those late arms, it's been hard to find outs. And there's been a lot of little things that you can point out about this team that just have to be better if you want to start to string together some wins here in July. Thorsland checking a runner at third. Now the 2-1. And Hurd going to be even at 2-2. Thorsland desperately looking to get a put-down pitch and get out of this half inning. And that sail's a bit low. And the count runs full. First full count that Thorsland's worked himself into tonight. The pitch. Big swing and a miss, and the half inning's over. Thorsland's second strikeout of the night, and a huge one at that. It's no runs on 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 left on for the Dogs. We go middle of 2 here in Oneonta. It is an 0-0 ball game. Bottom of the second inning back here in Oneonta. Laws went down 1-2-3, and now Jameson Bollock, your player of the game from Wednesday night, is going to look to lead the charge and get some offensive production going. Sure, this team finished with 8 hits in that game against Boonville, but also played 4.5 innings of baseball the night before. Well, 2 nights before, actually, because it was that road trip to Boonville that was kind of forgettable, sandwiched in between there. That was a 6-2 loss, and quite a few of these games have stacked up as pretty forgettable here as of late. But again, you shake those off, and, well, that night and the home game prior, it only ended up being no hits for the Laws. They did get a run, had some good heads-up base running by Jack Clark, in an inning that Saugerties also committed an error in the outfield. 1-1, and that Stallions offense is still trying to find a new look and new identity. They've added some new pieces. We mentioned it on Monday during our broadcast, but 2024 Outlaw Ryan King's now there. They've added Anthony Lino. Luis Rodriguez just left that team, and they're kind of in a kerfuffle of things, trying to find their stride here as we go into July. And they're looking to make a playoff push. And Salo center, that one caught by Hart. So it'll be a shallow fly out. Jameson Bollock retired, and quickly we go to Zach Porter. Zach Porter's hitting .270, and he was kind of red hot for a little while, but has started to cool off and come back to human form here as of late. 19 games, he's 17 for 63, has 8 runs scored, and he's had 3 doubles, 7 RBIs, and has gone 12-12 in the Watts to K's. Got a foul ball that ends up staying in the ballpark here. Came straight behind home, dropping behind our Outlaws Wall of Fame that owner Gary Lang was working pretty good on right before the season started, and looks pretty great. You're going to have to come check it out for yourself if you haven't already. Got a lot of home games coming up in July. I already mentioned it, but tomorrow we're here against Saugerties. It's Race to the Ballpark night, 7 o'clock. And then on Sunday we go to Boonville, but then we're right back here on Monday and Tuesday. Porter trying to go up the middle, caught. Ramsey ranging to his left on a line shot, and that's quickly 5 up, 5 down.
Number 4, Nathan Bowes.
Joey Calabretti working some really efficient stuff here early on. And now Nathan Bowes will come up. Bowes has got some family in the stands tonight. His parents made the trek up from Connecticut to spend the 4th of July here with us in Oneonta, so appreciate their support and appreciate them not only coming out to see Nate, but to experience the special holiday and our favorite night of the year here in the ballpark. Calabretti going to bomb one in high, and it's a called strike. Bowes doesn't love it, and I'm sure he's got something to say about it. He's now hitting .244, looking to climb his average back up. There's a nice drop in the zone, and he'll be in 2-strike approach, trying to keep that inning alive. Calabretti, the big sigh in the 0-2. Spiked down in the dirt, and it rolls to 1-2. In case you were curious, the last time the Outlaws won on the 4th of July was 2 years ago against the Albany Dutchmen, who are no longer, of course, in the PGCBL. It was a 2-1 final. Walk-off pass ball, went right through the catcher's legs, had a runner at third with 2 outs, and love to see it. I mean, it's not exactly the ideal way you want to win such a big game, especially low-scoring runs, but nothing beats last year on the 4th of July. Ended in a tie. It was 8-8, the final score, and was kind of a heartbreaker to many here in Oneonta. Laws were down 8-0 in that game, rallied back to tie it up all the way, 8-8, and then couldn't push a run across, and so we went to a tie. One of 2 times the Laws and DiamondDawgs tied last summer. Calabretti, here's a payoff with 2 outs. The pitch. And Bowes gets rung up looking. He went back to his speed junk, high and away in the zone, and that sits up, sits down for the Laws offense. We go top 3 in Oneonta. It's an 0-0 score. Top of the third here at Oneonta, and it will be 9-1-2 for the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs as Sean Stoney starts it off with a big swing right through. Stoney playing second base tonight for this Dawgs team, and he is looking to stay red hot at the plate. He was not in the lineup for game 1 yesterday up in Boonville, and that was a 3-0 win for this DiamondDawgs team. They turn around and tied in game 2, and he was 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, so one away from the Golden Sombrero. 0-2 offering, going to sail on in high, and it'll quickly go to a ball and 2 strikes. Stoney overall on the summer is slashing a .233 in 13 games. 1-2. Down up off the plate, 2-2. His line reads 7 for 30 with 7 runs scored, 1 long ball, which came against Saugerties, 5 ribbies, 5 walks, and 15 punchies. Also has 9 stolen bags, so when he's gotten on the base pass, threat to go. 2-2 pitch, in high. Thorsland went to that high speeder, hoping he could get something on like a check swing or whatnot, especially with 2 strikes already. Payoff offering. Go, strike 3. Stoney's going to be rung up looking as Thorsland creep one into the lower outside quadrant. So this game already going quite a lot differently than our 4th of July showdown did last year. This 4th of July game in Oneonta, always one for the books. Everybody lives for this night, and, well, considering we only get the fireworks post-game here once a year, it's certainly always a night that anybody who not only wants to see a great Outlaw game, but also wants to get some fireworks comes out too. Also helps that it's a free admission night, sponsored by 5 Star Subaru. We appreciate all of our great Outlaw sponsors for everything they do for us. That one broke low to Ethan Hughes, and so the count quickly to 2-0. Hughes at the top of the lineup in left field, and he struck out in his first plate appearance, starting off the ball game. 2-0. Creeps in there, called strike, and it's 2-1. Hughes still slashing above 300. Is a team, you saw it during the break, but hitting .232, which kind of mentioned it without saying it before. Their team batting average has gone up quite a bit over the last 2 weeks. They were chilling at just under 200 for 196, 198 for the longest time, and it was actually behind the Outlaws. Then they've started to catch a rhythm, seeing their team average tick up 34 points as that one fouled off by Hughes. And the count goes full. They're driving Thorsland's pitch count up, which is going to be big. And whether you believe it or not, today is a critical day for this Outlaw team. Over the course of the next 12 days, they will play 12 baseball games. So the stretch gets really busy, really damn quick. Is that going to miss low? So Hughes will be on, courtesy of the 1-out free pass. And we'll go to Tyler Jones. Jones singled in his first trip to the dish. It was an 0-1 pitch that he just slapped up on the left side, found a hole between Carrera and Montesano. Is looking around the horn for the Outlaws defensively. They got Bose behind the dish, Bollitz at first, Connolly's at second, Carrera at short, with Montesano at third. Kohler, Richards, Clark left to right in the outfield as that one will sail on in high. And it's a 1-0. Should have sun here for the first 2 hours plus of this ball game, which is going to be pretty huge. Hopefully we can buzz light through this one pretty quick. Love to get through it and give everybody a chance to enjoy the 4th on their terms. Is that one low? Not that, of course, we don't enjoy baseball, but quick games on a holiday, not something you can complain about, especially when you got a lot of other activities going on right here in Newell Park. If you've never experienced a July 4th weekend in Oneonta, you're going to want to make sure you change that and pump out next year to Damaski. 2-0. In the zone on the fastball, 2-1. Location's really been there from Thorsland in the early goings. Really finding all of his best stuff. Got Montesano pinched up a little over at third. Carrera back towards the edge of the dirt, straight up the middle. Same thing with Connolly, with Bollick creeping in a bit at first as that pops off Bo's glove. Gets to the bat stop. Be a wild pitch as Ethan Hughes will charge up 90 feet and run himself to scoring position with still just one out. So it goes to 3-1 with one out. In this game tonight here in Oneonta, one of the earlier starts in the PGCBL this evening, and again, we don't mind. Elmira and Newark started at 4 o'clock, but they were playing a doubleheader, and this was the second game to start. We got some games right behind us as Utica and Saugerty started at 6:15, a couple of 6:30, 6:35 starts, and then last game of the night, Glens Falls hosting Boonville up at Eastfield. As Thorsland going to lose another. Jones is on courtesy of the walk. It's back-to-back of those. And Joey Calabretti, the DH pitcher, going to come up and swing it next. Nathan Bose comes out, and he's having a quick conversation here with Thorsland, making sure they're on the same page. Nothing wrong with coming out right now before you give up too many guys to the base paths and kind of question what was going on, what the thought process was during these stages of the game. But it'll be a whole new count and whole new time to shine, whole new time to get an out. Calabretti singled and then was forced out 4-3 as part of the double play in that first inning by the Laws middle infield. I shouldn't even say middle infield because Jameson Bollick involved. Bollick, if he can start to find a way to get the offense gelling and get clicked in, then he is going to be a lethal product wherever he ends up going post Hudson Valley. He feels this one on the one up, won't be able to spin two, but at least gets the sure one as he retires Joey Calabretti. Ethan Hughes going to advance to third. Jones goes to second on the sack out. And J.P. Cusack, the Fairfield product, will come up. Cusack lined out to second, which of course started off that double play. It's like Saugerty's has got a killer lineup going at it against Utica. As I was just looking around the horn at a couple of the games that have already begun here in the PGCBL. And coming up in the top half of the fourth, we will take our first of two looks this evening at the PGCBL out-of-town board. Coach Martz out of the dugout here is making some signals to the middle of the Oneonta infield. One out. This one skied up right side. Bollick over in foul territory. Makes the snag out of the sun. And the half inning comes to a close. He's been very active for the Laws in the early goings. And Martin Thorsland continuing to work out of trouble. Dogs have stranded 4 through 3 innings. And to the bottom half of inning 3 we go with Maskey Field on the fourth. Back to Oneonta here on the 4th of July, bottom 3. Colby Smith here with you on Laws YouTube. 8, 9, 10 for the Oneonta lineup to face Joey Calabretti, who spikes one down. Then it bounces away from their backstop, JP Kuzek. Ian Wirtz to Lehigh University product. And behind him in this half inning is going to be Lenny Montesano, his man in third, Connolly at second. That one sliced straight up the middle and going to drop for a base knock. The first hit of Independence Day. Hello, Ian Wirtz, and the Laws first base runner as well. So Ian Wirtz gets a big single. And now Lenny Montesano will come up and try to swing it. Montesano, the East Tennessee State University product. He struggled a little bit since joining Oneonta, still trying to get reacclimated, readjusted to seeing live pitching for the first time in a little bit. It's always kind of a struggle for most guys once they make that jump to summer baseball after having a few weeks off following their college seasons. Not too many guys who are any different an example of that. Calabretti turns and looks around the 0-1. Big swing. Montesano won't be able to connect there, and so it'll go to 0-2. Montesano has just 6 hits in his 26 tries, as there'll be another miss up high. Montesano did have the off night against the Boonville Lumberjacks on Wednesday. Again, that was a 7-5 loss for the Outlaws. Looking to snap that 8-game slide. Shot backwards on a diagonal, and so it's 1-2. Jones pinched up a little bit over at third. Ramsey back on the edge of the dirt as well, as that one will sail on in high. And it goes 2-2. Quick checklet to first, 2-2. Big swing, and Montesano's retired. Went to the off speed, and he can't connect with it. And so back to the dugout he goes, and now it's Brendan Connolly. That's one thing you got to keep in mind about the way things have been going for this team this summer. A lot of these guys can and are able to do some really good stuff, but just haven't been able to put those right pieces in place and do those little things. Connolly finds it even now at 1-1. Again, Ian Wirtz stands at first with just 1 out. First Laws hit, first Laws base runner of the night as well. 1-1. Sails upwards. And Connolly finds it at 2-1 now. The other night, Connolly also was off against Boonville. Drawn back in for the first time since that road affair. Is that one going to be a nub foul?
Yes, please.
So it's at 2-2. So second and third are both open. Again, just 1 out. Quick checklet to first is Connolly. Put right on the ground to Ramsey. The flip to Stoney. The throw back to Hurd. Going to be in time, and that ends the inning. Sits to 4-3. Laws go down, and Matt Carrera will be up and then the top of the lineup in the bottom 4. But first, Mohawk Valley back to the dish here in Oneonta, and we have Goose Eggs on the board going to inning 4. Top four here in Oneonta. Laws just one hit on the scoreboard, but we do have zeros where it matters in the score column. Dawgs going to have 5, 6, 7 up, and Edwin Sanchez take to miss slow to work ahead 1-0. Sanchez single to start off the second inning, as that was the only Dawgs leadoff base runner thus far, as it'll bounce away from Bose, and the count goes to 2-0. But you look at it, and he was caught on the base path stealing. He had a massive lead away from Jameson Bollock, and Martin Thorsland turned and had a good angle at it and just forced the pickoff attempt, and it worked. Sanchez in foul territory, so 2-1 it'll be. 12 games in 12 days for this team. Going to be something huge and something very different. We had that stretch of play in 10 games in 9 days, but now you stretch it out just a little bit further, and you hope that maybe you'll get a rain out in there somewhere, because at this point it'd be nice to get a few of those. But you definitely don't want to look at it and think 12 games in 12 days is intimidating. You just got to find some kind of way to string together some good baseball. So Caden Hart, the Virginia Tech product. He grounded out 6-3 on an 0-2 his last time up. Thorsland goes to a fastball and gets the strike call. This DiamondDawgs team, that 3-0 win in Game 1 of their doubleheader up in Boonville land last night, then tied in Game 2 in 8 innings 2-2. This one diced out towards right and drops in foul territory, so it's 0-2. Following the night, Mohawk Valley going to go home tomorrow to play Utica. And then Sunday they go to Saugerties, get an off day Monday. Tuesday, they're at Utica. 0-2. Out towards left center. That one going to drop in the gap and roll backwards a bit. Chugging to go get it. Dane Richards scoops it up, but not before the second Hart gets. And so he'll run himself to scoring position with one out. That's a big knock and the 5th hit of the game. John Ramsey singled in the second inning, advanced 2 bases on a Jack Clark E9, which accounts for the only outlaw error of the ball game to this point. Laws are trying to beat this Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs team for the first time since June 11th of 2022. It has been 3 years and 23 days. In his coaching career here in Oneonta, Keaton Mark is 0-8-2 all-time against the Dogs. Again, you really got to change that number. 1-1 with one away. And that one going to come back in the zone for a called strike 2, and so it'll go 1-2. As promised, coming up here, we'll take a look at the PGCBI out-of-town scoreboard. But Steve Luby's coming in, and looks like he wants to have a conversation with Ramsey. Ramsey's a pretty dang good baseball player, knows the fundamentals, knows the little things. And I think it's just he's trying to settle him down, keep him from getting rattled. And so Luby will go back down towards third. Looking around the horn, the PGCBI out-of-town scoreboard is promised. Top 5. Oh, they're already in Game 2. Game 1 of Elmira and Newark. Pilots took it 2-0. Now in Game 2, it's a 4-1 lead in favor of the Pilots' top 5. Bottom second down at Canton and Saugerties. Blue Sox leading 2-1. Is out towards right. That one going to drop fair and roll a bet. Jack Clark scoops it up. Pumping the brakes at third, Caden Hart. And the Dogs will have runners at first and third with just one out. So Caden Hart only goes 90 feet. Doesn't want to get him gunned out. Trying to go any further. Like that hold from Coach Luby over there. Bottom first at Falcon Park in Auburn. Doubledays aren't having a very good fourth so far as they trail 4-0. Batavia leading Niagara Falls 4-0 already, and Boonville and Glens Falls literally just about to start at East Field, and it is an 0-0 score up there. This one bounces away from Bose, and now he'll scoop it up and get it back to Thorsland. At least they get the strike call. Justin Hurd struck out swinging in the second inning. Is again second base, the only base open. All goose eggs on the scoreboard so far. Dawgs have already popped 2 base runners on courtesy of hits this half inning. This one, a couple of hops and gets past the glove of Carrera into Lev. Scoring is Hart. Ramsey stops at second. Dawgs lead this thing 1-0. So Justin Hurd comes up with a big RBI knock, and it will still be first and second, and the Laws are starting to get somebody loose in their bullpen and left. Not a bad call at all. You don't want to let this game get too out of reach in the early goings where it's one of those times where you're looking at things in the back end and saying, man, what could we have done earlier on to keep this game a little bit tighter, giving ourselves a shot. Called strike on Stoney, and so it'll be 0-1. Stoney struck out looking in that third inning. Quick look to the runners. Ramsey at second, Hurd at first, and here's the 0-1. Shot straight up into the screen behind the plate, and so it'll roll 0-2. Need to find a way to get some outs and get some outs pretty quick and efficiently. We still got quite a lot of time till fireworks show here in Oneonta. It is 0-2. Again, straight up and back to the screen. People keep continuing to file in historic Damaski Field. A lot of people might have thought our game started at 7 because it seems like quite a few people have showed up in the last 10, 15 minutes or so to historic Damaski Field. It's always a 6 o'clock start, though. We start an hour earlier as Stoney's retired, swinging K.
Now batting number 24, Ethan Hughes.
Martin Thorsland up to 4 Ks on the evening, and it's top of the lineup for Ethan Hughes. Hughes a strikeout swinging and a walk in the third. Miss low and away. So Thorsland turning. Looking both to first and second. Towering shot out right side. Connolly going back of it. Shallow right makes the snag. And the half inning's over. So Mohawk Valley once more going to leave 2 on the base paths. They have stranded 6 through the first 4 frames. Outlaws going to have 10 and then top. But Mohawk Valley now has a 1-0 lead. Is up from first as he's on the edge of the grass. 2-0. And Porter hammered out into left field, diving to the ground, lost the hat 4. Tagging from third comes Connolly. Outlaws tie this thing up as it's a sac fly from Zach Porter. Bottom four here in Oneonta. Back to the top of the lineup for the Laws. Following Matt Carrera's AB. Carrera, the shortstop, going to take a miss in the dirt for ball one. It really is nice to see Calabretti giving this team some distance here to start this one off. Last night had to fill 15 innings up in Boonville. Here's the 1-0. Carrera spikes it up on the infield. Ramsey and Stoney both over towards second, and it's caught by Stoney to the left side of the bag. So one away. And it's top of the lineup now as Dane Richards will come up. Richards flew out to right field, the first pitch that the Outlaws saw at the plate this evening. Got Sanchez out there in right, and with the exception of that ball, outfield hasn't been too busy. He had to fly out by Bollitt that was shallow. Infield could have got it, but nothing that's been too major, nothing too hard hit. Been hard to barrel anything up against Joey Calabretti thus far for the Laws. 1-0, and now the shadows creeping over to Maskey, especially on the right side. Center field and right field now engulfed in them, stretching all the way almost towards home plate, especially right field line and foul ground. 2-0, and Richards a big swing and a miss. Went chopping for that one, just can't find it. Oneonta looks like nobody's throwing in left at the moment. They had some action in the pen as Richards comes straight back to the screen with it, and it's to 2-2. Outlaws, we really appreciate all of our great sponsors who make it possible to have PGCBL baseball right here in Oneonta. And as you can tell by looking at our outfield, we show them all off as Richards gets frozen. And there's two away. That one just snuck into the zone. Wasn't exactly what you would have drawn it up to be. I think Richards thought that he was going to have a little bit more time on it. But two away, and now Jack Clark. Clark popped to second. His first time up is he'll take a strike. Jack's family watches every single game from Florida here on YouTube, so I just want to give a hello to the Clark family watching in from down south. Would love to be where you are right about now. It's count to 1-1. Would give anything for even a couple hours at the beach right about now. As the 1-1 sweeps into the zone, called strike two, and he'll be in two-strike approach with two outs. One, two. Calabretti's working the first base side of the rubber, and Clark, it's like he went up a few steps on that torpedo bat, came more towards the barrel, which if you haven't seen how a torpedo bat is laid out, got a lot thinner barrel, not too thick, and a lot longer handle to grip onto. 1-2, and he'll watch that go low. Counts to 2-2. Still need to find some kind of offense. Just the one hit so far that came Ian Wirtz back in the third inning, but then got doubled off, part of a double play. Connolly grounded into it, and Clark will be retired. Another backwards K. Joey Calabretti continues to rack him up. Laws continuing to struggle here on the fourth. Top five coming up next in Oneonta, and it is a 1-0 Mohawk Valley score. Top 5 back here in Oneonta, and now joined in the booth by Outlaws first baseman at Canisius, Connor Wading. Connor, happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July, Colby.
Appreciate you popping up.
Always. Love being up here.
Tyler Jones going to shoot the first one out of the hand of Zach Rowe straight back, and so he'll trail 0-1. And Connor, tell me about Zach. What's it like being around him in the locker room, and what's he brought to this team?
Zach's a great dude. Always got good energy, high energy. And I think he's a great ball player. Swings it well, throws well on the bump. He's just a great dude to be around. I enjoy my time around him.
Jones is going to step out here. And what's it like having a guy who's a true two-way on this team? What's that?
It's pretty cool. I mean, I think he plays both sides of the ball at a really high level, and I enjoy when he's out there. I enjoy when he's in the lineup. It's been fun being on base, watching him hit, and even up here in the mound from first base while he's on the mound, it's great to watch. He's always high energy, high intensity.
Well, and you mentioned being on base. You've now got a couple of big hits here at Damascus that have kept this team in games and have given them a chance to win. What have you seen from yourself personally here this summer, and what are you looking to still keep working on?
Just, trusting the process, finding a swing that's comfortable and consistent, and trusting it and repeating it and working every day. And the confidence when you have guys around you that are playing with high intent, high intensity, and just want to win, want to be better. It pushes you. I know we've been struggling as a team, but this is a great group. And they've helped me just as much as I hope I've helped some of them. So,
well, on the count now 2-2 here on Tyler Jones. And when you mentioned the struggles of this team, if you had to pinpoint a couple of things that you really think have kind of led it to get to the point it is right now, what would you look to?
I'd probably just say on the pitching side, I think that's a great call.
We like that.
I was convinced he was out, so. But I think it was on the pitching side, just limiting walks, fielding obviously always limiting errors, and hitting, just coming up with hits in the right spots, just runners in scoring position, doing a job, I think is the biggest struggle and cause of our problem so far.
When you talk about that runners in scoring position, I mean, everybody's going to look at you guys and say, man, they haven't scored many runs, haven't really taken advantage of those opportunities. You all, even though you look at stats, you've left the most runners on in the entire league this summer. How frustrating is that just to see?
It hurts. Leaving meat on the bone is never a good thing, especially when our record is what it is. Just looking to get better. We have a decent history of scoring on 4th of July, though. Flashback to last year, so hopefully we get some of that tonight for some fireworks post-game.
When you mentioned that 4th of July game last year, tell me about the experience and what it was like playing here at Damascus on such a special night.
I mean, it's always good energy, good vibes being here, but it just seems like a little extra energy is brought with the fans when they come in on 4th of July. You have the fireworks post game, which is always cool. No one wants to lose under the fireworks. So last year dug ourselves a pretty deep hole in the first inning, managed to come back. Unfortunately, the game finished in a tie just because of rules and whatever. But it was always a great night to be able to come back in a tough spot, have the fan, have the energy that they have, and get to see the fireworks after the game.
So Calabretti will reach courtesy of the walk, and it'll be 1 on with 1 out here, top 5. In terms of the Outlaws fan energy, how would you stack it up in terms of anywhere that you've played growing up to this point?
Man, I haven't really played in many places like this. I mean, I can compare it to my other summer ball experiences. Obviously, I'm back now for another summer, but freshman going to sophomore year and then even going into college, we didn't get even nearly as big of crowds that we would get here. Energy wasn't always as high. People leaving super early in games, not really even taking the time to learn players' names for the most part, mostly just parents. But here it's like the community is rooting for you. They know your name. they're yelling at you while you're on the field. You do something good, so it's definitely different. It's definitely special.
Well, and how nice has it been to still see the community support and everybody popping out here to games despite the way the summer's been going?
It makes you feel good. I mean, no, like I've been saying, no one likes to struggle, and it's I don't know what's going on. I think Nate's hurt. He was throwing stuff.
Oh, man.
No.
Well, he's been dealing with some injuries to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Happy 4th.
guys, it's too early.
Everything's going on ablaze already.
It's too early.
Got to get dark before we get those. We got to get a Laws victory, too, right?
Yeah, I mean, we tried to bring back the roll call. Hopefully it gives us some good luck this time around.
So, yeah, Ian Wirtz is getting his catching gear. Looks like Steve Luby wants some answers down there at 30 here for Mohawk Valley as well. It's pretty rare you see something like this happen.
Yeah, my best guess would be jammed his thumb. Just ball came off the glove wrong and hit the thumb wrong.
Well, it's got to be especially frustrating for him, too, because he's got family in the house tonight.
Yeah.
How's your mom doing these days?
She's good.
It's good.
She's good. She's probably watching right now, honestly. I might get a text pretty soon that
Huh.
she's watching.
Well,
So
if
loves
she
it.
is watching, I hope she's having a good 4th. Zach still trying to stay loose out there. He's firing it to Connolly.
Now behind the plate,
As a pitcher, I mean, I know it's not your primary thing, but when you get a delay like this, I mean, yeah, they're rare, but what's kind of going through your head?
It depends. Sometimes I'll kind of just sit there, probably think about my at-bat. If there's someone on first, or if the first base coach is cool, I might talk to them. Maybe the umpire, depending on how his calls have been that day. So it depends on a bunch of different things. If I had a good at-bat, then I'll probably be more talkative. If I had a bad at-bat, I'll probably just want to sit and think. But it's a cool break. J-Mo's probably happy to be sitting in the shade for a minute.
When you talk about good at-bats and bad at-bats, what do you define as a good at-bat? What do you define as a bad at-bat?
I'd say a good at-bat's quality at-bat. I think if you're out on a quality at-bat, that's considered, to me, you fought. The pitcher probably earned that at-bat, that out. So an out doesn't necessarily mean bad at-bat. If I hit a ball hard, I'm probably going to be happy with it. Hard line driver gets caught, so what? Work a long at-bat, and pitcher makes a good pitch, tip your cap. But, I worked, I fought, and I'll see you next time, kind of. So that's what I would say quality at-bat is a good at-bat.
So, again, Ian Wirtz is now behind the plate here for the Outlaws. Nate Bowes is out. Zach Rowe on the hill, and that one going to drift in just above the shoelaces to make it 2-2. Just a 1-0 score in favor of Mohawk Valley if you're just tuning in. As we've been saying all night, happy 4th of July here from Oneonta. 2-2 pitch, and that one shot off foul. In terms of lineup-wise this summer, how do you feel like things have been shaken out, and who's really stuck out to you here as of late, despite what the numbers might say?
Lately, I would say J-Mo, Mr. Jamison Balich. I mean, what was it? Wednesday night, he looked like he found it. Something clicked, and he couldn't miss. And I'm really excited. He put a good swing on the ball before for his first at-bat. I'm really excited to see him heat up, start feeling comfortable and confident with his swing again, because if Wednesday's any show of what he can do, I'm really excited to see that.
When you say finding that confidence again, what was his kind of thought process and demeanor like before now?
We were kind of in the same boat. Just, man, this is frustrating. I feel like I'm doing everything I can to try and fix it. Why isn't this working? But we've kind of talked about the same stuff. Like, just trust it. Like, keep working, keep going, keep doing everything you've been doing, and trust the process. And Wednesday night, the process showed. So, I understand the struggle for sure, and I'm glad to see him start to break out of that a little bit.
Edwin Sanchez, who's 1 for 2 on the night so far, had a single in the second, lined out to right. He's in a 1-1 count here with still just 1 away in the top half of this 5th inning. Checking both base runners and now misses up and away. For you personally, what's got to give for you to get in that same boat and start to find your rhythm again?
I think it's the same thing, just being comfortable, trusting the process, making sure, just working on the little things in the cage, off the tee. The usual stuff you got to do as a baseball player at all. Like I said, just keep trusting it and stick to the approach. Trust that I know I keep saying trust a lot, but that really is where it's at. Trust yourself, your skills, your talent, your hard work, all that stuff, and it'll happen when it happens for me. I just like to stick to it and control the things I can control.
There's nothing wrong with talking about trust. Everything in life stems from trust.
I 100% agree.
Payoff pitch. Left side of the infield. Carrera on the 1-hop, spins it to Connolly. Back across. And won't be in time. But at least you get the one up the middle.
Hey, as long as we can collect outs.
Now batting from
No
Virginia
issue
Tech,
collecting out.
Number 29, Caden Hart.
So Sanchez will be on courtesy of the fielder's choice with Calabrese scooting over to third. It'll be runners at the corners with 2 outs for the Virginia Tech product, Caden Hart, who we were curious earlier on, wondering what the deal was with the 29. Actually forgot, misplaced or something with his jersey, so he's wearing a brand new number out there tonight at 29. That one stays. Thought it was a fair ball.
I think it went off his foot.
That stinks.
Yeah. Should be able to go to replay.
Let's get those instant replays up and going.
Should.
Got to get the high-tech speed stuff here in the PGCBL. 0-1 pitch. And fastball. Catches in there to make it 0-2. And now, Connor, if you're Zach, what do you go to? 2 strikes and 2 away.
Keep showing him what you're showing him. Keep that heater. Try and keep it away from him like that. I think you keep going hard away. Catch him a little out front, a little on top of it. Get you a nice ground ball to Connolly over there. Get our 3rd out.
1-2, and another one going to go high and up. So it's 2-2. And you mentioned Connolly. What have you been seeing from him here recent weeks for this team?
I like his aggressiveness. I like that. I think the other night, I believe it was Wednesday, going after the first pitch of the game in the leadoff spot. I like it. And I think he's another guy who just needs to trust it. I think he's kind of doing the same thing as me, just thinking a little too much. Just need to trust it. He's a good hitter. We've seen it before. It's nothing he can't figure out. Good boy, Zach.
Zach gets out of the inning with a fastball, swing and a miss on Caden Hart. And Mohawk Valley goes straight 2 on the base path here, top 5. We're halfway home here on the 4th, and it is 1-0 Mohawk Valley. Bottom 5 back here in Oneonta, Connor Wading and Colby Smith. And Connor, we got a new pitcher for Mohawk Valley, Ryan Callaghan, who's already thrown against you guys once this summer. Callaghan's been pretty dang good, and he's going to see 3, 4, 5 in the lineup here for the Laws, led off by Jace Kohler. Connor, tell me about Jace. Tell me what he brings to the locker room and brings to this team.
Jace is a funny guy. I don't know if you can tell seeing him on the field. Doesn't really talk a lot, but Jace is a funny guy. He works hard. He's smart. Talks about hitting a lot, figuring out his own stuff, talking to other guys about their stuff. Then he swings a good stick, plays a good shortstop, third base, even sticking him out in left field. And he's been great in the top of the order. Hits balls hard.
And you mentioned the outfield for this team. How hard has it been to kind of adjust on the fly, have some guys who aren't true outfielders get out there and take some reps out there?
The guys would probably say it's a little weird at first. I think you get used to it pretty quick. Fly balls in the outfield aren't the worst thing in the world. I think I'd take that over some of these hard ground balls. So once guys get a few innings of it under their belt, I think they're pretty good.
3-1 from Callaghan. Going to drift in, ball 4. And Kohler's going to get on, courtesy of the leadoff walk here to begin this bottom half of inning 5. Next up will be your guy.
Yes, sir, J-Mo.
Balich flew out to center field back in the second inning. He was part of that streak for Joey Calabretti, who threw the first 4, retiring 6 in a row to start the ball game. Callaghan, second and third both open, and pumps one in. Clips his elbow. So maybe this is the half inning that we've been looking for so far.
Hey, so far so good. There's meat on the bone. We got to get it off. I'm sure J-Mo wants that at bat back. He wants to swing, I know that, but team guy, he'll take his bag.
Well, as somebody who missed him by a year at Hudson Valley, but was still very involved in, knowing what was going on with the Vikings this year, what was kind of your thought when you first learned that he was coming here to join you with the Outlaws this summer?
I was excited to meet him. He had a great year, obviously, all the accolades he got. And I've really enjoyed, hanging out with him, getting to know him. I keep telling him all the time, I wish we went to Hudson Valley together. It would have been a lot of fun. Being in that lineup for a whole college season. But he's an awesome dude, great dude. Glad he's here. Glad I got the chance to play with him.
1-0, and Callaghan struggling with his command as he plunged Porter. And just like that, bases are going to be loaded with nobody out.
Oneonta, number 6, Zach Rao.
So Zach Rao will stay in and swing the bat here. I was wondering what was going to happen with Bose being taken out, and so Coach Steve Luby's going to come out. And Connor, this is one of those situations where as a coach, you get bases loaded with nobody out, tight game like this. What do you go out and say to your pitcher?
Honestly, I think the smart thing to say to your pitcher is 1 here's all right. They got a 1-run lead. 1 run here ties the game. You want more than 1 run anyway. In the end, 1 run's not going to cut it. Just being able to collect outs in this situation, limit the damage, not hold off on any damage is probably the most reassuring thing you can say here.
Rao's going to take a dropping called strike, fall behind 0-1. Again, this was Bo's spot in the order starting off the game, the 6 hole. And Rowe at least going to stay in, try to do another inning of work as he skyrockets one up towards left. And he'll drop in the Outlaw bullpen area, so it'll be 0-2.
Festival or gathering, whatever it's so called, out in beyond the left field fence. I was saying it to my mom before, what better way to spend your 4th of July than at a game. Had me a lemonade and iced tea from over there. It was pretty good, sipping on that while watching the game. Doesn't get more American than that, I think. So I hope to see more come join us, hopefully for an Outlaws win and some cool fireworks after the game.
2-2 sails up, and Kuzak was careful to make sure that one didn't get away as it runs full. You mentioned the lemonade, you mentioned the iced tea. Which one was better?
I think the iced tea, honestly. The lemonade was freshly squeezed. Yes, sir.
That's going to walk in a run. Callaghan misses his spot down and away. Kohler will trot in to score. We're all tied at 1, and still the bases are loaded.
Number 7, Ian Wirtz.
So this is a huge spot, and Connor, Ian Wirtz, guy for this team who, scouting report on him coming in was that he could swing a really good bat, and he's another one of those guys. Bat's been kind of cold, but you know when he finds it, everything's going to start to click at once. Oh,
for sure. He makes some loud contact. He puts great swings on the ball in BP. He's made some loud outs, you know. He can really get into them, and I'm excited to see when he does. Right here would be a great spot for it.
0-1, and that one angled backwards, and so it'll be 0-2. In terms of a situation like this where you have bases loaded with nobody outs, as a hitter, what's your ultimate goal?
For me, type of hitter I am, my pitch selection, I'm looking to hit the ball hard in the air. You know, get that run in from third at least. Obviously, you want to hit a ball in the gap and score everybody. But something hard in the air, whether that's a line drive or a deep fly ball, keep the ball off the ground. You don't want double play and to break the momentum up of an inning.
Lenny Montesano now going to take a low called strike one. Tell me about Lenny, what's he added to this team, and what's it been like having him around in a short time here so far?
Lenny's great. Lenny's, I think, the only guy on this team older than me, class-wise. So it's been great, you know, talking to a guy with the similar, even longer experience than I have. Things he's learned and all that stuff, bounce ideas off him. He's a smart guy, and he's a great person. He's awesome to talk to.
Count to 2-1, and how does it help to have a guy like that, a veteran type who's not afraid to come in and talk mid-season like, you know, he has?
It's awesome. You know, going into my senior year, been to a few different schools. He's the same way. I think you're older than me. He's been to a few different schools. We've kind of been around the block. You're used to it. You're used to moving around, talking to new people. So just someone else who has that same type of experience is really cool to be around.
Counts full with one down. Balich is at third. Porter's at second. And Rouse at first here for the Outlaws, who just tied it at 1. And Montesano flexes one off foul. So we'll try that again. In terms of what you've talked about with Lenny, pitch selection-wise, what's he usually hunting and looking for in a situation especially like this?
I mean, in this type of situation, pitcher's going to try and get a double play, get out of it, so he's probably going to spin you. You got one of two options: fight the off speed and hit a fastball, which we all like to. Everybody loves fastballs. But you're either fighting off speed and looking for that fastball, or you're fighting off fastballs and looking for that off speed. And he's a great thinker when it comes to hitting. Has a good approach. You know, that's one of those quality at bats right here where pitcher just makes a good pitch, but he's got a good approach and been great to talk to. He's a smart guy.
Obviously, Brendan Connerly's a guy you'd want up in a situation like this. 2 outs, still bases loaded, tied at 1, trying to add in more. But the thought does got to cross your mind now. You get out of this half inning, you had the bases loaded, scored the run with still nobody out. How frustrating would it be if, in fact, you get out of this inning with maybe just no runs or even just one more?
You know, that kind of goes back to what I said when they had the mound visit, limiting the damage. That's what we're trying to prevent right here. You know, it takes just one swing can give us 2 right here, give us a lead. And this is one of the things that we've talked about as a team, and you and I have talked about, just got to get better at getting all the meat off the bone. Hopefully Connolly can come through. He's a guy I trust to do it for sure.
1-1 from Callaghan. And Connolly puts it in play. Callaghan hops right side of the mound and fires a ball to Hurd for the out. Connolly will be forced out 1-3. Laws will leave the bases loaded, but they do get one on no hits, no errors, and stranding 3. Top 6 we go here at Stuart Tomaski Field, and we are knotted up at 1. Back here to Oneonta, top of inning 6. We already got a first pitch strike. Zach Brown wasting no time, rolling right back into it. Another big swing and a miss. And quickly it's 0-2. Got to give a big thank you to Connor Wading for taking the entirety of that 5th inning. And he's got the off night today, and so nice to have him swing by and get a look from the inside perspective about what's going on. He certainly always has a lot of great insight. And so love to hear from Connor about what's got to turn around for this team and just the little things that you don't necessarily get from what you see out here on the field. 1-2, going to sail up high, and it goes to 2-2. Ramsey is 2 for 2 with pair of singles and also a 2-base E9. Around first base side, and Ramsey pumps it towards the bat, but it curves a bit foul. I mean, Connor said it about just the best you could have said it. Leaving that meat on the bone has been such a big issue for this team this summer. And straining those base paths when you definitely could have cashed in and got a couple more is going to hurt this team in a big way. Just got to hope that you don't look back at this one later on if you lose by a run or two and say that was a half inning where we could have scored more and really kind of put a thumping into this thing. He gets frozen as John Ramsey taking an off speed to the upper corner of the zone.
Walking to the plate for the University of Albany, number 27, Justin Hurd.
So Ramsey gets frozen.
Go. I'm going to grab your shit, and then you come with that. Why? I grabbed the water, so everybody's like mad down there.
That one going to sail up and away. And it got to 1-2. Hurd 1 for 2, strikeout swing in the second, and an RBI single in the fourth. And it accounted for the only Mohawk Valley Diamond Dog run. Is Hurd taking a miss up and away, and it goes to 2-0. Now from the first base side, deals that one in. Move it to 2-1. So he's really mixing up that arsenal and locating well, and that's one thing that you heard from Connor about. Zach is just one of those guys who can really do it well on both sides of the ball, and even though his numbers aren't necessarily where he'd like them to be, got no complaints at all about the quality of things that he's been doing for this squad. 3-1. Misses away, ball 4. And so it'll be 1 on with 1 out.
Number 7, Sean Stoney.
Now it's Sean Stoney. 0 for 2, strikeout swinging, a strikeout swinging. This one going to be shot up the line foul. Stoney 0 for 1. That one creeps in the zone. Make it 0-2. Short lead off first for Hurd. As Rao going to go up with a fastball and away. Another miss downstairs. Another one off the plate, but a strike call nonetheless. Nonetheless, I can't speak. So 2 strikeouts in a half inning for Rao, and he's up to 4 on his K counter. Took over for Thorsland, who only went 4 innings if you missed it. That one straight back behind the plate. And so it'll go to 0-1. Rao turns and checks the runner. Now the shadows have crept over the entirety of the field as that one misses down and outside. 1-1. Ethan Hughes 0 for 2 with a walk. Is left on third, back in the third inning. Dogs have stranded 8 on base to this point as it goes to 2-1. So maybe this will be the moment in time where the problem that's been the Outlaws' biggest problem affects somebody else. 2-1. Straight up in the air, right center side. Connolly going back to get it, and Richards bats him up. But it's Connolly who makes the grab, and that ends the inning. Laws will strand Justin Hurd at first, and they will come to the plate in the bottom half of inning 6. It's a 1-1 score here at Tomasky Field. Back here, bottom 6, Matt Carrera going to turn and shoot the straight one.
Bathrooms are
First one
currently
straight
out of
back.
order.
Ooh,
Both gates are open, so
we're all
no
getting a little
unicorn
confused here.
riding at the park.
There's the count going to 0-1. Carrera popped to second, which is Sean Stoney's spot back in the 4th inning, starting off that half-inning frame. This one taking a bounce in the ballpark, and we'll get out of the yard to the parking lot that gotten really full. Before game time, there was a handful of spots left out there, but now it's really filling in, and we talked about that with waiting, how everybody's starting to file in here, and it would be nice to get some cheer for a Outlaws win as Matt Carrera leadoff single starting the inning. He floats one just past Stoney, just in front of Sanchez, and that's a good spot for a base knock.
Richards.
So the Laws will turn things over to Dane Richards, going back to the top of the lineup. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Had a sac fly to right in the first inning. Well, not a sac fly, just a fly to right in the first inning. As I said, it's getting late. It's 4th of July. My brain's just all over the place. I don't know what my excuse is any other night, though. Also struck out, looking in the 4th inning, is the 1-out. Richards, another pop fly going out towards right. Hurd racing over, not going to have a play. And he lost his beautiful DiamondDawgs cap in the process. Was quite the run for Hurd to get over there. Dawson talking about those caps. They got the black hats on. Bit of green on the brim. Got the green jerseys with the white letters, white numbers, and the gray pants. Here on the road in Oneonta tonight, in case you're curious what they were looking like. Got a half moon up above left field in the Outlaws bullpen area that's been very energized and very into this one tonight. Callaghan turning and looking to first. 2-1. Blasted out towards right. That one will fall. Carrera's taking a turn as that gets away from Sanchez. He's moving to third. Richards into second. Carrera's cruising around to score. In the third goes Richards. Outlaws take the 2-1 lead. A critical misplay by Sanchez in right field. And Steve Luby immediately going to walk out of the DiamondDawg dugout. And they might be making a call to the bullpen as they've been having a new arm getting hot. That's huge for Oneonta, and indeed he is going to point to right. Outlaws take their first lead of the night, and we will step aside for this call to the bullpen. The Outlaws got a lead on the 4th of July. Back here at Oneonta, Jack Clark going to come up to the plate and see a new Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs arm as it's Drew Harris. Clark taking one low in the zone for strike one. Jack Clark's 0 for 2 in the night so far. He popped to second, struck out looking. Clark shot out towards right. Sanchez drifting over in the corner, and that'll drop to the right of that white line. So it'll be 0-2. Looking at Drew Harris's numbers on the summer so far, he's 1-1, 5 appearances, 2 starts, 14 1/3 innings, and he has surrendered 10 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned, walking 7 and striking out 15. Clark, some good plate defense, able to foul it off. And so we'll keep at it. At that right foot, positioned way back in the box. The left foot kicked up. And Clark will go straight back and high to the screen. So now 4 pitches in and still an 0-2 count. Oh-2, misses out and away. Rolls to 1-2. Got Jones up on the edge of the grass over at third. Stoney and Hurd right side of the infield doing the same. Pinched up. Clark will go reaching for one high. And he's retired for the first out of the inning. Dodd's certainly going to take a sigh of relief as they're finally able to get one. Love to see the field here at Temasky getting a little loud. Getting some energy here. Haven't had too much of that this summer to this point, and there's a lot of it in the ballpark right now. Love to see it. So Jace Kohler will settle in. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. Blasted past the diving Ramsey in the left. Richards will trot from third to score. Jace Kohler RBI counted. It's 3-1 Outlaws. You needed that insurance run in a big way. And Chase Kohler is able to get it done. Jameson Balich now going to waltz in for the Laws. Fly out to center. He was hit by a pitch and stranded at third. As he'll turn and shoot a towering shot over the screen behind the plate to make it 0-1. So the second multi-run lead that the Outlaws have had over the course of the last 3 games. Now can't watch it slip away as Balich will shoot a ball off foul. On the 4th of July, knowing that you haven't beat this Mohawk Valley team in so long, a victory tonight would be just about the highest of highs that you could ask for. 0-2, and you don't want to put the cart before the horse. Kohler was running as that one goes off foul. Had a lucky fan in attendance make a nice pick behind press row. Yeah, no complaints there at all. 7 hits for the Dodge, 4 for the Laws, an error apiece as the pitch misses in high. And it goes to 1-2. It's actually the first lead the Outlaws have had against Mohawk Valley since that first trip up to Little Falls earlier on this year. Shallow fly ball. Sanchez able to make the play, and he gets out of the way so Chase Kohler can treat back to the bag. So now quickly 2 are away, and it's Zach Porter's turn to swing it. Porter lined out to short in the second inning and then was hit by a pitch in the 5th. Part of that 5th inning where the Laws got that first run. They've now put crooked numbers on the board in each of the last 2 half innings. Quick pickoff attempt is Hurd able to settle the ball in. First pitch swinging out to center field. Another shallow ball, and that one dropped in front of Hart. Chase Kohler stopped running. Now he's turning, coming to the plate. The slap tag on from Kuzak, and he's gunned out at the plate. Hart letting that one fall in front of him, and it is going to be an E8, but it'll end up being an E2 to gun out Chase Kohler at home. We'll go to the 7th, and Oneonta got the lead, so you got to smile about that. But another thing with base running, you got to work on that, and can't be having things like that go wrong for you. But to the 7th we go again. It's 3-1 Outlaws. Evan Staroba taking over the pitching duties here for the Outlaws. As the count quickly rolling to 1-1, and we'll get into Staroba's full numbers here from the summer in just a sec. It's Tyler Jones at the plate for Mohawk Valley as they have 2-3-4 up in this half inning. A high one up behind the plate, and will stay in the ballpark on a couple of skips. And every kid we got here going racing for those foul balls. Prevalent every game, but even more prevalent on a night like tonight. One and two. Is Staroba kicks and fires. That one in the dirt, bounces away. Spring it upwards, turns good at the Balich in time. Strikeout and a 2-3. So Jones is retired. But Staroba's stat line reads an ERA of .935. He is 0-4, 6 appearances, 5 starts, 17 and a third innings, 19 hits, 22 runs, 18 earned, 14 walks, and 12 punch-outs. It's Joey Calabretti who is out of this game now pitching-wise after only having gone the first 4, but he stayed in the game as the DH. He was the starting DH and pitcher, so call him Shohei Ohtani of the East Coast, I guess. Big series going on out in L.A. this weekend. Houston and the Dodgers should be entertaining to see what happens there. That one just above the shoelaces. And also got the Subway Series going on this weekend if you're a Major League Baseball fan. Yankees and Mets, and another entertaining series that you might not find so entertaining, but I find entertaining. Cincinnati and Philly, two teams that are playing some good ball. 1-1, blasted out towards right. Jack Clark chugging over and makes the grab. Just stuck out his glove, and it was waist height, so we'll score it as a liner. Line shot to right, 2 down.
Approaching the plate from Fairfield University, number 30, J.P. Cusack.
Have a 3-1 lead. Well, dugout's going to get hyped. Evan Staroba's going to come to the plate to take his first at bat that he's seen since high school. With losing this spot in the order with Nathan Bose catching. And Zach Rowe, of course, not in there anymore. You need to have your pitcher bat, and so this has become the pitcher's spot, and so Staroba's swinging it. Don't know whose bat he's using. Well, I think this is the loudest we've heard the Outlaw dugout all season, and rightfully so. 2-0 offering. Creeps in there for a called strike, and now the big tall Staroba is going to walk out. He'll settle back in 2-1 and chops at that one, and count's going to go 2-2. Drew Harris's pitch. In there, just a bit low in front of this count to full. So the count is full on Evan Staroba against Drew Harris. Here, bottom 7, and the pitch swung on and missed. Staroba about came out of his shoes. Good at bat, though. I like to see it. Guy who hasn't seen it at bat in a couple of years. I mean, I'm sure he does a little work time and time again in the cage or just picks it up for fun, but not in a situation like that, especially in a game where your team's got the lead and you want to hold on in front of a big crowd. Wirtz will take a bouncing ball off the plate and the count to 1-0. Wirtz is 1 for 2. He singled in the third inning, got forced out 6-4 as part of a 6-4-3 double play, and he's going to check his swing on this one and see he held up, so 2-0. He also struck out swinging in the 5th. Wirtz, left side of the infield, couple of skips. Jones forward, stretches it out for the out. So Justin Hurd yo-yoing it into the mitt, and 2 are away for now Lenny Montesano. Montesano 0 for 2, both courtesy of the strikeout. Struck out swinging in the third and struck out swinging in the fifth. Drew Harris gonna miss low with one. Ball one. Harris now steps and fires, and Montesano came around. It was a slow swing. So it goes to 1-1. And Montesano, another big hack and a miss. So it's 1-2. Drew Harris, one pitch away from spinning a 1-2-3. And here's the pitch. Bounces it in the dirt, ball 2. So it's 2-2. Drew Harris gonna kick and fire. And Montesano swooped on the ground, and Ramsey gets it to Hurd. And that ends the half inning. Laws go down 1-2-3. Lights are coming on at Tomaski. We're going top 8, and we will be right back as it's 3-1 Outlaws. Top of the 8th here in Oneonta, and the Outlaws. It's been quite the night here on the 4th, and it's going to go to a 1-0 count on Edwin Sanchez. Outlaws trying to break the curse of the DiamondDawgs here on the 4th and get a win against Mohawk Valley for the first time since June 11th of 2022. Slow tapper left side on the one-hop. Carrera charges and fires in the stretches in time. And we once again get a firework being shot up above left field. A little early. Oneonta's antsy for some fireworks.
Now batting from RP, Ian Oslauger.
We don't mind, though. Like to see the energy and enthusiasm. Ian Olslager out towards right center, going back to grab it. Dane Richards with the play. So, quick work in. There's 2 outs. Caden Hard out of this ball game with Olslager coming in.
John Ramsey.
So we'll fix that. And welcome John Ramsey into the batter's box. Coming up in the bottom of the 8th, we'll take one more look around the PGCB Oneonta scoreboard tonight as Ramsey takes a miss high. Staroba, the 1 out. Up towards the bat and gets a strike call, so it's 1-1. Staroba 1-1. Won't sell that call, so it goes to 2-1. Misses low, and it runs to 3-1. That one gets away, and it's ball 4. So Ramsey will get on, courtesy of the 2-out free pass. And up next is going to be Justin Hurd. He's been very busy at first base tonight. He actually has 7 RBIs in the season series against the Outlaws, so hoping he can add a couple more to it. Most notably, had a grand slam at home against these Outlaws. Had a couple of hits for RBIs when the Dogs were last here on the 25th as well, as he airmails one up behind home. That one will get over the bleachers and take a drop. So it'll go 1. Hurd is 1 for 2, also has worked to walk. RBI single in the 4th, walked in the 6th after striking out swinging in the 2nd. 0-1. And Hurd, a shot out to shallow right. Connolly goes back, Clark comes in, and it's Clark who pulls it out of the air. So, despite the 2-out walk to John Ramsey, Evan Staroba doing great work for the Laws. They come up bottom 8, and we'll have 9-10 top. And we'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard as well when we come back. But again, it's 3-1 Outlaws, bottom 8. Next up. Back to Oneonta, bottom 8, and it's the lefty swinger, Brendan Connolly, to kick it off. Connolly will take a miss low and away from Harris, and count's going to go to 1-0. Connolly's 0 for 2 tonight, ground into a 6-4-3 double play in the 3rd, and then put one back to the pitcher, which went 1-3 in the 5th. Connolly now finds himself even 1-1. Connolly, another miss, down and away, and the count to 2-1. Another one going to sail up and away. And Connolly in a 3-1 count. This game's been buzzing along pretty quick. We started right at 6 on the dot and just a smidge over 2 hours in, and we're already bottom 8. 3-1. Connolly rips it up the line. Takes the bat, skip off the bag, and rolls into left. He'll take the turnaround first. Looking like he wants to go 2, but he'll hold up.
Now batting number 5, Matt Correa.
So nice to see Connolly get a ball right there. Was hoping maybe he could dig 2 out of it, but Hughes has got a cannon out there and left. Carrera lays the bunt down the third base line, charging it, whipped on the run. Jones to Hurd. They get an out, so 5-3. There's 1 away.
Now batting number 1, Dane Richards.
Dane Richards will now come up as we go back to the top of the lineup. Richards ripped towards third. Jones catching Connolly in a rundown. Is Stoney turning and slapping the tag on? So they go 5-6-4 to get Connolly to weird out. But you get it, and fielder's choice, Dane Richards will be on.
Now batting number 27, Jack Clark.
Jack Clark, 2 outs and 1 on first. And as we said, we'll take a look at the PGCB out-of-town scoreboard. Hopefully time's going to allow me to whip through it, because it seems like every time I've been saying I'm going to do something here, time's gone way too quick. So both games are over now in Newark. Elmira losing game 1, 2-0, rescheduled from the 26th. And then they win game 2, 7-5, both 7 innings in length. So Elmira and Newark split their doubleheader at Colburn. Bottom of the 6th and Saugerty 1 lead. And then as well at Eastfield 1 lead. And then as well at Eastfield, bottom of the 4. Boonville and Glens Falls. Bottom of the 4. Boonville and Glens Falls. And Clark will chug to second. He's got an RBI double. Outlaws run their lead to 4-1. That ball just kept carrying, and I didn't want to say it before it was too early or too late. Was hoping maybe it would find a way to sneak over the fence, but at least you get the double. So Keaton Mark will take the shin guard from Jack Clark, and that's a huge run. Stretch the lead out to 3 going to the 9th, and don't know if you go back to Staroba for another inning or you go shut down and run to another arm. It'll be interesting to see what Coach Mark does here for the Laws. But again, it's a 4-1 score. It's been weird in this division this year because even though you have those really good teams at the top in Amsterdam, a Boonville, a Saugerties, and even Mohawk Valley right down the cusp of being good, great, whatever you want to say, you got teams at the bottom who can beat those teams at the top. Is Jace Kohler on the backhand, picked by Stoney. He'll flick it to Hurd, half innings over. 4-3, Jace Kohler's retired. But ladies and gentlemen, going to the 9th inning here on 4th of July, the Outlaws have a lead. 4-1, Oneonta, top 9, straight ahead. Top of the 9th, the historic Damaski Field in Oneonta. Independence Day Baseball and General Manager Tony DeLillo swinging by. And Tony,
Historic Damaski Field. A historic win tonight, hopefully, here. Cole.
This would certainly be a historic one. As I've mentioned a couple of times throughout the night, since Saturday, June 11th, 2022, the Outlaws have not beaten the Dawgs. And, Tony, that's 3 years in 23 days. I don't like math at all, and I don't like throwing numbers around, but that's a number you got to toss around.
That's a lot of days. A lot of painful losses.
Now batting
A lot of painful losses and an understatement.
number 6.
I would go a step further, add a few more words to that, but we won't get into that here. Not the time nor the place. Looks like we got a pinch hitter from Mohawk Valley. Ryan Stranad going to take over for Sean Stoney down here at the bottom of the lineup. And that
Hey
one,
now, look out! Welcome to the game.
Evan Staroba airmailing one right there. That's all right.
Welcome to the game. It's key though. We want to get the first guy out here. We don't want to give him any juice, any momentum here. We want to retire the first batter. We don't want to walk him either.
Staroba going to break another one in high, and the count quickly to 2-0. Sean Stoney had struck out all 3 times he had come to the plate tonight. And Tony, when you're having a night like that, you don't want to get that golden sombrero.
No, you don't. That's a bad feeling. Great
Staroba.
pitch. Great pitch. Had him fooled from the get-go.
Just kind of went to that off speed to creep it back in the zone. Nothing wrong with that. Here's the 2-1.
Nice pitch. Nice pitch.
So the count to 2-2. And set up first base side of the rubber. Staroba gets a slow tapper straight up the middle. Carrera charges, fires to Balich,
Go.
and there's an out.
Great play.
So
Great play right there.
Stranad's retired, and Tony, it just seems like of all nights, this is the night you wanted everything to work,
yes.
and just about everything's worked tonight.
Our biggest crowd of the night. Great fielding the entire night. Timely hitting. It's what gets the job done for you in baseball, in the game of baseball.
There's still a few things you're going to want to look back at and say we could have done that differently,
Every game there is.
well, yeah, but I mean, at this point in time, those little things are those things you really got to talk about, even when you're winning a ball game.
Oh, he's on. He's locked in.
Staroba really wants that 3-inning save here in Oneonta tonight. Staroba 1-1.
Here we go. That's
Swung
nice
right
pitch
through.
Now, here's the debate. I see this when I watch, a lot of times when I watch the Yankee games. Their pitchers go up there, they get ahead 1-2, and they kind of try to, like, waste the pitch. Let's just go right at him. I like it. He just went right at him. Here it is. Hit it.
So Staroba gets it to a 2-2. Outlaws dugout starting to get loud, starting to get energized. And louder than they've been all year.
Good pitch.
Looked like it was there.
I thought so as well. But, that's why we're up here, and my man in the blue is down there.
You want to get down there and wave blue sometime?
Nope.
Pay off. Thwack backwards, and so we'll try it again. Nice to see the moon out already. I mean, it's just after 8. The moon's shining pretty dang bright. And
All right, so we got to work around that.
there's a high one. So, got a 1-out walk.
From George Washington University,
Tyler Jones
Tyler Jones.
thought maybe he would get pulled.
Big round of applause
But,
for the Department of Public
I mean, we saw some
Our bathroom tonight. Thank you so much.
stuff going on down in that Mohawk Valley dugout, thinking that a couple of guys were grabbing bats. Maybe we'd see some more pinch hitters. This is a team that does not want to lose. Coach Steve Luby does not like to lose.
Nope.
I mean, nobody likes to lose.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
if you like to lose, then
You're in the wrong thing.
yeah. If you like to lose, go to weather. Go do weather.
Yes, you won't get yelled at if you lose there.
Staroba turning and looking to first. His 1-out. And angle backwards yet again. So it goes to 1-1. I could never be a weatherman. I don't think that I would want to sit there and study those patterns. And
Because you're never right.
well, yeah, and
Then
you
you get criticized by everybody.
and you get a big storm coming in, and if you miss that storm on the radar, all of a sudden you're the bad guy. 1-1, and this one will be a foul out towards right. Stays in the ballpark. All those kids, it's really nice to see them here tonight.
It is a great feeling to see all the kids here tonight running around. It's absolutely a great night here at the ballpark.
Can't ask for
And
too
to
much
make it better, if the Outlaws can take care of business here, it'll be an even better night.
It
We
would
can come back and do it again tomorrow.
that would certainly be nice because another streak on the line tomorrow playing Saugerties. Don't want to call it the curse of the Stallions just yet, but it'll be getting there if that one keeps up any longer.
Yep.
So it's a 1-2 with one away. Again, we're in the top of the 9th in Oneonta. 4th of July baseball and 4-1. only fitting you score 4 runs on the 4th.
Yeah. I'll take it any way you want to spin it, Kolb.
Staroba still keeping an eye on the runner.
Oh,
The 1-2
nice pitch.
creeps in there for a called strike
He wasn't
3.
happy, but it looked good from here, and that's all that matters.
So the Dogs are down to their last out in Oneonta. Again,
The dog-eat-dog world tonight, Kolb.
I love it. 3 years in 23 days, and that could all end right now.
13,
Joey Calabretti. He's walked. He's grounded out 3 unassisted. He's lined to right, and he's walked. Hasn't had a hit since the 1st inning, and now
Good pitch.
nice
Great pitch.
strike. So 0-1.
You can stay. I'm sorry, listeners. I got a little too excited. I got a lot of people up in the booth here right now. A lot of words going in my head. I answered.
0-1.
I don't
And
know.
that one bounced to the dirt. So with a big swing. Again, it's a 0-2.
All right, here we go. Down to the last strike. Let's
So
get it.
down to the last strike, Calabretti. Standing on first, Ethan Hughes. Evan Staroba. This could be the highlight of the Outlaws season right here. Steps and fires. And that one will be high. So won't get it just yet.
He did a good job holding the swing there. He wanted it. He saw it at his eyes.
Still hanging at first is Ethan Hughes. Now with the ball in the count. Staroba ready to do it again.
Got him. Yeah,
Gets him
let's
low in the
go.
zone, and the streak is over. For
Great
the first
job.
time in a little over.
Couldn't be any better. Great crowd, great entertainment tonight, and the Outlaws played a great baseball game. What a great night. What a
And
great night.
a great weekend's only getting started. We got our Outlaw 5K tomorrow. We got Race to the Park night. Socrates is going to be here. We're going to end that streak tomorrow.
Most important, don't forget about the 5K. This is a great fundraiser for the Outlaws. Please support us. And what a great night.
5:30 5K start tomorrow. We'll have registration outside the park starting at 3:30. First pitch tomorrow night's game, though, 7 o'clock. And again, it's Race to the Park night. Facing Socrates, trying to end another streak. It's a weekend of streaks being broken.
And it's alumni weekend, too, so
It is.
come on out and support. Former Outlaws come out and support the current Outlaws.
So much going on here at Tomasky this weekend. Dogs go to 13-11-1. Laws to 4-19. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Thanks for joining us tonight. Happy 4th, and as always, roll Outlaws.